This is Cairo's #1.
Now.
NILE FM Aware.
Welcome one and all to NILE FM's Aware. In this episode, I have Ro'a here with me tonight in the studio from the EUR, the Electricity Usage Reduction Campaign. You don't want to miss this. Stay tuned.
Cairo's #1.
Ro'a, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Adham, for having me.
Thank you for coming and taking the time. And I'm very curious. First of all, of course, about the name. Why electricity? Why is it not energy? Why did you focus on electricity? But generally, that's something I'll get back to, towards the later ends of the show. But right now, I'm very curious. What exactly is EUR? What do you guys do?
Well, EUR is a campaign. It has been launched in the last month by SPECU, that is the Society of Petroleum Engineers of Cairo University chapter. We are trying to raise awareness towards the electricity problem in Egypt mainly, and stuff can be related to any other country, of course, but we focus on Egypt. We were inspired, of course, by the blackouts that happened during Ramadan and last summer, but the idea had been there for a long while, because we all know the amount of carbon dioxide emissions from the power plants and whatever, and the global warming and such environmental issues are important for everyone to focus upon, and people to know about. Awareness is important in that.
Very, very interesting. And towards, of course, the later ends of the show, as I said, I'm really interested in figuring out why electricity in particular, and what made you guys decide to enter into this, aside from just the electricity or the electric outages in Ramadan. What made you guys want to say, no, you know what, enough is enough?
Well, because mainly we have known the consequences of the bleak future that we are all facing. If the amount of consumption of electricity kept increasing in that way, we are going for a very bleak future. We are not facing a bright future.
Oh, okay. I'm scared of asking, but I kind of have to. What exactly, or how bleak is that future that you're referring to, and how do you know that it's that bleak?
Well, as a part of our online campaigns, that's one of the phases of the EUR campaign. We have a few online campaigns. As part of them, we have an upcoming campaign that's an actual incidents, and we are gonna mention on our Facebook pages a few actual incidents that have happened around the world relating to an overconsumption of electricity and how that have affected people really badly.
Well, you're talking about the effect of how badly it affects people, but do you have any numbers or what made you realize that it will affect us? In terms of evidence, so to speak.
Well, statistics show that the power plants in Egypt can go up to 18 gigawatts, and the amount of electricity consumption in summer particularly goes up to 23 sometimes, and that is 5 gigawatts of gap. One day they're gonna blow.
Really? So and where do we get these 5 gigawatts?
That's what was happening last summer. They blacked out some places to give some places light, and then they made it like a compensation or something.
See, I was always under the impression that the electricity, unit itself kind of failed. I didn't know that it was being redistributed because we just don't have enough to supply all the demand. How can we reduce our electricity usage, or how can we better manage our energy consumption in general?
Well, Adham, going back to our online campaigns, that's one of the phases I mentioned. We have actually, we're done with 2 of them. They're on our Facebook page already. We are done with the first one, that was the new technologies that have been used in other countries of the world to help reduce electricity. And we're not talking about something fictional here. It's something that has been done. And that was one campaign. The other campaign was Make an Impact. It addresses simple individuals in simple daily life. What can you do? Simple tips to do and make your life and Earth's life, by consequence, a whole lot better. People don't realize that actually flipping a switch is saving Earth.
Wow. That's very, very cool. Now, I have to ask at this point, you mentioned something about the first campaign of the new technologies that are existing right now in the rest of the world. Is that technology available here in Egypt, or is it something that we have to buy from different countries?
Well, it's not available in Egypt, sadly, but we can manage to manufacture it at some point in the future, because we do need them. There is something that says if you don't fill the kettle to the full, but actually as much as you need, it's really reducing the amount of electricity you use. A few of those tips can actually reduce the amount of energy from 30 to 40%. It's simple. Don't fill the kettle to its top. Fill as much as you need. Never leave a laptop or computer on standby. Switch them off. It's not that hard to do.
Oh boy, I'm guilty of that one. Does that actually consume so much electricity?
Yeah, and something else, if you leave the charger of the laptop or the mobile in the socket, it's consuming energy, even if it's not recharging the mobile.
Excuse me, I have to go unplug like half of my stuff right now. You're serious that if we just do, like, fill the kettle up to the maximum, just as much as I need, or unplug our electric devices when they're fully charged, or not leaving our TVs or laptop on standby, that actually can reduce that much electricity?
Believe it or not.
And I mean, according to the math you mentioned earlier, if we manage to do these things and reduce our electric consumption by 30%, then we might not even need those new technologies that you're talking about. We actually have more than we need. I have to say, I'm a little bit embarrassed, bothful, because I didn't know this information, and I am guilty on all counts, and I'm pretty certain that a whole bunch of people that I know are guilty as well. What's the next step? What's the future for EUR?
Well, the future for EUR, we have two phases. The first phase was the online publicity. The second phase was the raising awareness, actually interacting with people. And we have divided this into a number of phases. The first phase was cooperations with other institutions that share the same passion for Earth. And we started by the Arab Youth Climate Movement, AYCM. We joined in their march in the 10th of November, and it was a very marvelous experience. Peaceful march from Opera House to Arab League, nothing much, but people were asking, what are the banners you are raising and everything. That was the first part. The second part was our presentations. We are raising awareness through presentations at a number of universities at places. We have a presentation team consisting of 14 members. We all work together, create the presentation and rehearse them and whatever. And then we have our 6 lead presenters presenting them. We had a presentation at our university, Cairo University, and then we moved on to other universities.
Very cool. And it's all about, like, simple tips, simple things that you can do to reduce energy consumption and actually help save the planet in one way or the other.
Yeah, sure.
Very, very, very brilliant. Roa, it's been a pleasure having you. Well, at least for me. I mean, for me it was a little bit of an embarrassment, but it's been a pleasure all around having you on the show. Thank you so much for your passion towards this cause and for taking the time to come here on NILE FM's Aware. Now, before you go, I need to make sure that the listener knows exactly how to reach you guys, how to access this information. Do you have a Facebook page, a website, or something like that?
We have a Facebook page. It's EUR. Very simple. You're not gonna lose it.
So it's www.facebook.com/EUR.
/SPEEUR, because we are relating to SPECU.
Perfect. There you have it. That's it for us. And of course, as a reminder, as I always say, if you're one of these individuals with a passion about a particular cause, trying to give back to the community, I would love to hear from you or your organization or campaign. Email me at aware@nileradioproductions.net. Again, that's aware@nileradioproductions.net. Would love to have you here on the show and talk about the challenges that your organization are addressing and trying to give back to the community. That's it from us right here on NILE FM's Aware. I'll catch you next Saturday. Have a great